everybody. This is Lauren Dalvia. I'm an astrologer and spiritual teacher here at Bene Mudra. And this is an astrology update for February 14th, 15th to February 21st. So really, the biggest thing that's happening this week is February 17th is delivering the first of three squares. Squares is like kind of this tense energy meeting of two planets between Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. So Saturn is, karma and old school rules and restrictions and the container with which we hold all of that. And Uranus is the exact opposite, or Uranus. It's like, it's the planet of innovation. It's the planet of change. It's the internet. It's electricity. It's the planet of surprise and vision. So new rules are going to be challenged by new updates for a unique kind of tension that demands a restructuring. This is an influence that will continue through the year, like all the way to the end of 2021. February 18th is going to mark the sun's Pisces ingress. The sun is going from Aquarius into Pisces. So this is the sign of dreams, of spirituality, the ocean, transcendence. Everything is activated therein, encouraging us to accept what we can't control and to release what's fading and open ourselves up to what's possible. On February 19th, we have a square between Venus in Aquarius and Mars in Taurus, and that reflects some of the Saturn, Uranus, or Uranus tension as actions challenge attraction. The struggle to attain what you want can be motivating, but also unsatisfying if motivations are not thoroughly acknowledged. So it's really one of those times. We're still in a Mercury retrograde as well, by the way, until the 20th. And so and that slowdown is going to start to happen this week. So it's like super duper time to question motivations and just like make sure that like we know what the feeling means before we react to it, and like know what we really want, and to know that what we see might not be exactly what we get. Like everything is subject to change that happens during Mercury retrograde. So just to know that it's like kind of a destabilizing time. It's a good time to kind of dip back into the past and clean up and stuff like that. But it's like, as is often said, it's not the greatest time to like begin things brand new. But we do have Mercury finally stationing direct on the 20th, and that Mercury is stationing direct in Aquarius. Delays that have been, in anything delay or review oriented that have been in force since January 30th may end as information arrives and decisions are able to get made. I always let people know that like if Mercury is going direct on the 20th, the 19th, I mean, it's super crunchy and like kind of like, it can feel like the most constricted on the day that Mercury slows down in the sky to go retrograde, meaning 3 weeks ago, and the day that he sort of slows down again in the sky to appear to turn direct again. Like once he's direct, like we feel it. And then a day later, we super feel it. But so the point I'm trying to make is that 18th, 19th, yeah, it's going to be crunchy and tight. So it's cross all T's, dot all I's. Really make sure you're texting your husband and not your boyfriend, or your husband and not your boss, or, read contracts 50 times, that kind of thing. Like just double check the address that you're putting in on Waze or Google Maps, that all the numbers are correct so that you're not driving like to the wrong state or the wrong end of the city. And, that's something that I'm really careful in Mercury retrograde, but I kept doing that in the last couple of weeks. So, it's just a reminder, and it's going to feel the tightest at the beginning and the end. So, but the end is in sight, and to just utilize this last week of like, these periods are not here to terrorize us. They're here to like kind of bring us down to humility and look at what we need to look at. So I'm just going to give a little update on every sign, but that's like the energy, that's what all of us are dealing with. So just so we know going into it. So Aries, Saturn is in your social area, square Uranus in your area of personal resources. That's a crisis a change of public rules versus changes in personal finances and values. So you could feel pressured to conform to new rules while attempting to liberate your source of income or security base, perhaps, or you might find that restrictions around public image or social group deliver hard reality checks if you've been careless with what's valuable. So just consider what social structures need to be rebuilt or what risks need to be accounted for. In some cases, you might find that if you don't fit in with a certain group, just to bear in mind that this kind of influence will continue throughout 2021. The sun is going to be is moving into your hidden sector. That illuminates dreams and secrets and intuition and issues of loss and release. This is time to tune into what's quieter and to release what no longer serves. Mercury is going direct in your social area, so that offers clarity and progress in terms of public conversation and discussion with friends or a contract from the past or your social image. Taurus, Saturn is in your career area, square Uranus in your sign. So that begins a change or crisis in authority versus personal freedom. So disruptive change involving your identity, relationships, or life path can be challenged by career restrictions or pressure. So you might struggle to reconcile the emerging you with new rules. In some cases, job shifts can trigger these disruptions. Uranus is going to mark a new beginning for you, and Saturn is a culmination. So just consider how the tension between these beginnings and endings can lead to a new path. This is the placement that's going to continue throughout 2021. The sun is moving into your social area. That highlights your place with the collective, groups, friends, associations, connections, and any dreams and hopes about personal goals. The undefined or idealistic nature of certain connections can be emphasized. Mercury is also going direct in your career area, so that suggests clarity regarding a conversation with management or job plans or any professional announcement or decision about next steps. Gemini, Saturn is in your area of opportunities in the square with Uranus in your hidden sector. So that begins a change or crisis of external rules, involving travel, education, legal matters, publishing, broadcasting versus background disruptions. So you might struggle behind the scenes against certain restrictions or a sense of emergence of hidden rebellion. In some cases, what's official can suddenly be shaken. This is the time to actually evaluate news and beliefs and consider how they mesh with your private impulses. So this influence is what will continue throughout 2021 through December of 2021. The sun is moving into your career area. That illuminates matters of ambition and professional image and future goal. Issues of professional dreams versus reality could be the theme. Mercury is going direct in your opportunities area. That offers clarity or a final answer involving travel, education, broadcasting, legal matters. Like, this is a truth you can count on. So it's also Venus is in your opportunities area, square Mars in your hidden sector. So that kind of can highlight some tension in terms of new developments versus unconscious actions. This can, if you're not fully aware of what your motivations are, you might react in a way that kind of repulses what you're trying to attract. So just be careful, or someone else's hidden actions can make things difficult. So just be aware of that. Cancer, Saturn is in your area of shared resources, square Uranus in your area of socializing. So that begins a crisis of public liberation versus private rules. Increased responsibility involving debts, taxes, your partner's finances, intimacy, psychological matters. Anything will be challenged by public disruption, including social image, friendships, or your place in a group. This could be about realizing where you don't belong. Where you're not accepted, or dealing with the personal fallout, or struggling with private boundaries versus the urge to liberate yourself publicly. It's time to reevaluate who you are in society while taking stock of the inner fears or resistance this triggers. This influence will continue throughout December of 2021. The sun is moving into your opportunities sector. So that can turn your attention to kind of, higher ideals or, distant distant places, matters with regard to travel, broadcasting, publishing, legal issues, foreign country, all that stuff is energized. Mercury is going direct in your area of shared resources. That offers clarity about debt. That offers clarity about taxes, partners, finances, intimacy, psychological matters. A period of research or intense questioning is actually going to yield to results. So that's great. Leo, Saturn is in your relationship area. That is square Uranus in your career area. So that begins a change or a crisis of rules, with regard to partnership challenged by radical updates. So a partner or a competitor, business competitor, may have some strict non-negotiables that clash with changes in your career path or your professional image. So this could be a matter of their authority versus your innovation, or your responsibility for them versus a desire for personal freedom. It's kind of all that kind of in a cabal. Consider how the current commitment is evolving and where you're willing to compromise and where you're not willing to compromise. This is what's going to unfold throughout 2021, culminating in December. Mercury is direct in your relationship area, and that can help with partnership discussions or anything delayed answer can be concluded. Thoughts on the matter, relationship matters can be quite clear this week. Venus is in your relationship sector, square Mars in your career sector. That kind of echoes what I just said, as well as like professional ambitions versus relationship harmony. The push to succeed will not be compatible with what another wants. So consider like if adjustments can be made or if desires are truly unreasonable. Like, is something holding you back? Are you being controlling? Like, just like, is there something you can call, like, are you trying to manage and control, or is someone, do you feel managed and controlled by somebody else, or is there peace in that area? The sun is moving into your sector of shared resources. That activates matters that you do not have full control over. So sharing, merging, trusting, and letting go will be themes. So it's really like a relating to other people is really a theme this week for Leo. Virgo, Saturn is in your area of routine, square Uranus in your sector of opportunities. That brings change or crisis of limits involving health, daily life, obligations to another, service versus new developments that hint at freedom. So updates in the areas of travel, education, publishing, broadcasting, legal matters, etc. beckon, but immediate responsibilities will first hold you back, or structure in your daily life will be disrupted by unforeseen jolts of chance or risk or something like that. Like daily rules cannot be ignored, but future opportunity must also be considered. Is there a way to accommodate both? This tension can result in new definitions of what is possible for you. This is the influence that is beginning and will continue throughout 2021, culminating in December. The sun is moving into your relationship area. That is drawing your attention to the balance between you and another. So what you sacrifice, what they won't commit to, or what you project can be themes, like just to kind of have a deeper look and really like stare deeply into and get direction and guidance from the divine. Mercury is going direct in your area of routine. So that can clarify correction or reveal a piece of missing info, or clarity around a health matter, or anything involving service to another human being and to your own daily routine. Libra, Saturn is in your area of self-expression in the square to Uranus in your area of shared resources. So that begins a change or crisis of limits involving new attraction, creative work, or the freedom to be yourself versus deeper restlessness or disruption. So the pressure to work in order to gain recognition or an inevitable reality check around what you want will be challenged by a sudden change in the area of taxes, debts, a partner's finances, intimacy, psychological matters of any kind. Rebellion may hit out of nowhere. Radical impulses or updates, they can push you into risky territory as you question your talents. But the key is to pay attention to what appears to be out of your control and just consider how breaking away from deeply ingrained habits can benefit you. The reason why triggers arrive is not so we run back into our cave, but so that we actually, because we're ready to move to new ways of being, because we're actually ready to sit in it long enough to know what it is and to walk through it so that it no longer has power over us, so that we truly like move past something. So that it's really important to keep that in mind. At the same time, remembering what responsibilities and realities must be obeyed at this time. This is an influence that will continue until December 2021. The sun is moving into your sector of routine. That illuminates issues with regard to health, self-care, or caring for someone else. Note any imbalances that come to light. Where are you giving it away, and where are you wasting your time or energy? Mercury is also going direct in your area of self-expression. That adds clarity as you become more certain of what you want to express. Venus is in your area of self-expression in this square to Mars, and that is happening for Mars in your area of shared resources. So that is like, there is some tension as what you want to have fun, to celebrate, to create, to be worthy is challenged by hidden motivations. So just unacknowledged anger or assertiveness or lust can be exciting while also making you uneasy. So just to bear that in mind. You also can push a scenario in the wrong direction if you demand more that is available. In some cases, the tension can motivate you to create or pursue, which can be productive, but just risky if you're not fully aware of your actions. So it's just a good time to really look at your motivations and get super clear. And just again, like that, the sun moving into your area of routine, like where are you giving it away and wasting your time or energy? Very important. Scorpio, Saturn is in your domestic area, square Uranus in your relationship area. So that brings change or crisis in like domestic rules versus partnership changes. So increasing responsibility at home will be challenged by like a partner's desire for freedom or any developments that might be unexpected. So authority or foundation may be disrupted while drawing your attention to what you cannot control. Consider what needs to be adjusted and what's shifting. A relationship update is unavoidable. This influence is something that will continue until December 2021. It's just in terms of like, what we cannot control, like inevitability and what we cannot control. So it's a really important time for Scorpios to just kind of look into that, stare into that, and just kind of like ask for help, ask for divine guidance. The sun is moving into your area of self-expression. That energizes matters related to celebrating creativity and new attractions, appreciation for who you are and what your gifts to offer the world are. Mercury is also going direct in your domestic area. So that can actually add clarity to any lingering issues from the past. Once again, relationship stuff, conversations, anything documents about family, relocation, home business, family business, all of that is final. It can be finalized under this placement. Sagittarius, Saturn is in your communication area in the square to Uranus in your area of routine, which begins a crisis of or a change of verbal and intellectual rules versus radical change in your health, daily habits, or your service to another. Intensified focus on one subject, restrictions on what you can say, or demands for proof can be shaken by your impatience with certain routines or a sudden change to those routines. So this can be a stressful influence. This can force you to quickly adjust your daily life while dealing with like official documents or limits or around what you can openly express. So ideally, the pressure can be used to kind of reorganize. We're in a retrograde period, reorganize your priorities while developing authority for your voice. So note that some of your options, your thoughts and opinions may also be actively challenged. This is an influence that will continue through till December 2021. The sun is in your moving into your domestic area, so that energizes matters involving the past or family or current home, or your attempts to secure a foundation. Mercury is going direct in your communication center, so that can help with information that you've been waiting for or finally arrives as your thoughts or choices become clearer. Venus is in your communication sector in the square to Mars, in your sector of routine. So that is there can be tension in terms of efforts involving health, daily habits, care for another that can clash with what you want or what you want to hear. So you may attempt to deliver a loving message, but discover that it comes across as too much, or good news or happy messages may have an undertone of discord, stuff like that. But just know that the matters involving past and family and current home are going to come to light, and are going to be energized under this placement. Capricorn, Saturn is in your area of personal resources, squaring Uranus in your area of self-expression. That begins a crisis of rules involving money or security versus the desire to cut loose or take a risk. So the urge for radical self-expression will be challenged by what you must do or earn or survive, and certain risks can be quite destructive, so just be careful. At the same time, a new you is emerging, so use this tension to redefine what matters most and what you value. This influence will continue until December 2021. The sun is moving into your communication area. That energizes messages delivered and received. Any new messages, new info, short journeys, your immediate environment, including neighbors and where you live. The pace of information and distractions can actually accelerate. Mercury is going direct in your area of personal resources, so that can clarify all matters involving earned income, self-esteem, values. Financial discussion can finally move forward. Aquarius, Saturn is in your sign, squaring Uranus in your domestic area. So that begins crisis or change of responsibilities or restrictions versus upheaval at home. So an enforced step away from the past or a major update in a family situation can actually challenge your authority. You may attempt to maintain control or find that your boundaries are pushed. This is really about new responsibilities being defined and new boundaries being drawn. This influence will continue through December 2021. Venus is in your sign as well. That is squaring Mars in your domestic sector. So that is echoing that same tension as actions at home or with family challenge your happiness or harmony. So where there's increased motivation to go after what you want, pay attention to the friction that arises. Mercury direct in your sign can actually deliver a message that you've been waiting for, or can conclude a decision-making process for the better. The sun is actually moving into your area of personal resources. That can energize matters with regard to earned money, values, and self-esteem. You might be confronted with scenarios where you have to let go in order to allow something more valuable into your life. And finally, Pisces. Saturn is in your hidden area, square Uranus in your communication area. So that begins a crisis of radical opinion, messages challenged by background limits or fears. What you can't fully see still matters. An ongoing ending or unacknowledged responsibility will define, through crisis and change, new knowledge or messages that open your eyes to what you were complacent about. So this is the influence that's going to it's beginning, and it's really going to continue throughout 2021 till December. Venus is in your hidden area, square Mars in your communication area. So that's going to echo that same tension as efforts to assert your voice disagree with secret desire or secret attraction. So this is time to tune into what you really want or what you're not openly acknowledging, and consider how external actions challenge this. Mercury direct in your hidden sector can actually make some of this easier, as certain secrets, dreams, and hunches kind of can become a lot clearer right now. The sun into your sign is energizing you, of course, like it's about to be your time, while highlighting goals for the upcoming year. So this energetic turning point, it can be time to let go of what's draining you while focusing on what confirms your beliefs. So that is your update. Be gentle this week. You know, we've got a lot shifting. These squares on the 17th, 18th are super intense. It's kind of a heavy week for everybody in a way. Everybody's shaking right now. Everybody's in massive transformation right now. Everybody gets grace and deserves grace always, but especially at this moment in time when the ages are literally changing. I am, as always, available at benemudra.com for private astrological soul astrology consultation. And I have some workshops, and I take on private clients as well for astrology and spiritual teaching. I'm also available on Instagram at Lauren, LAUREN _ Dalvia, DALVIA is my personal account, which also has business. And then I have a smaller business account at 1111 Guided, and you spell the words 11. As always, I'm grateful to my mentors, Diana Brown, Remington Donovan, Grow Engelstoft, and especially to Nadia Gilchrist, who is a brilliant astrologer and whose mathematics and interpretation of the placements today are responsible for this report. Thank you, Nadia, and thank you all. Have a beautiful week. Cheers.